So I just yelled in my car a bunch of times, and at first I was going to show it on camera, but I watched it back and I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm working on my confidence, but I guess I haven't reached that level quite yet. But I would like to talk about it because this was a suggestion by my therapist. They are very good about asking me where in my body I'm feeling my anger. And lately they've been suggesting a lot that I find some ways to get my anger out, to move my anger through my body in a somatic way. You know, I've never really looked up the word somatic. I think I would like to do a bit more research into it, a bit more looking into it. I know the basics, but I've never really looked super into what exactly that means. But I know it's really important to move our emotions through our body because they get stored in our body. And I've had a lot of anger coming up lately. Obviously, there's plenty going on in the world, plenty of injustice to make most of us feel really angry these days and always. But I also have things going on in my personal life that are causing a lot of anger to come up. And I've been trying to let those emotions come up more. I've been trying to be honest with myself about the fact that I'm angry. I hate the feeling of anger. I hate the idea of anger. I have had a lifetime of running from my anger, of pretending that I don't even have anger. Me angry? Never. I'll be sad, I'll be worried, but angry? Ugh, absolutely not. Anger disgusts me. I hate being angry. It just makes me feel a deep amount of shame to feel angry or to acknowledge that I feel angry. And oh, the shame that comes up when I try one of those practices of yelling or punching a pillow or getting it out in another way. On TikTok, I saw this video of someone throwing ice in the bathtub because their therapist suggested that. And I haven't tried that yet, but I'll probably feel a lot of shame doing that as well. Just anything that involves a lack of composure, you know? It makes me feel out of control. And I've fought really hard to have a lot of self-control over the course of my life. If you're not someone who has followed me over from my other channel, you may not know that I was raised in Christian fundamentalism and I was homeschooled, and there was a big emphasis on self-control, on, especially for, you know, being female and being socialized as a girl, a lot of emphasis on being quiet and gentle and respectful and composed and submissive, and being angry was not allowed. It was literally seen as a bad, unacceptable thing. And so I don't have a lot of practice with acknowledging my anger. And so it's really something that I'm working on these days. Just letting it be there and validating the reasons why I have this anger and saying, it's okay. I'm a human and this is a human emotion. And I'm so busy and so overwhelmed and stressed these days. You know, I'm working full time and I am a single parent for the first time. These emotions just build up, you know. Right now, my daughter is in a class. It's a Saturday, and usually I'll go in and I'll watch her class, but today I feel guilty about it. I'm gonna say that. I do feel guilty about it, but I knew that I needed to take this time to try to process some of these emotions and to just like have a little bit of time for myself in the car while she was, you know, safe and doing something that she loves to do. Because I know that my emotions affect her. And, you know, part of being a parent is, in my opinion, learning to self-regulate our own emotions so that we can, as best as we can, be there for our children as they're learning to regulate their emotions. And also just like being able to model that is really important to me. But I also have to be really careful to be easy on myself too. Because, you know, I struggle with a lot of perfectionism. I can hold myself to a really, 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 really high standard in every way possible. And parenting is no exception. If anything, it is like one of the biggest areas of my life where I am the hardest on myself, which is really saying something, because I can be really, 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 really hard on myself about anything and everything. And again, I have a lot of practice doing that. So, as I was saying, you know, while I'm working on learning to, you know, acknowledge my anger, let myself be angry, validate my reasons for feeling angry, and get that anger out. Of course, I'm not able to get it all out all at once, but just like practicing letting it out a little bit. Even if it means, you know, like awkwardly looking around to make sure that no one can see. I'm like parked like at the very edge of the parking lot, and I've got this I've got this, what do you call this, visor here, you know, as like a little bit of a screen, and you know, all the windows are up, and yeah, every time I yelled, I then like quickly looked around and was like, did anybody see that? So, you know, letting it out a little bit, just practicing a little bit. And the more you practice something, the easier it will become, hopefully, fingers crossed, you know? And hopefully, you know, as I become healthier as a person, then that will translate into my parenting. And also, I just have the urge to remind myself in this moment that I also just deserve it as a human being. Like, I'm worthy as a person. Yes, I am a parent, and yes, that's an important part of who I am. And in addition to that, I'm also a human being, a person that is worthy of learning these skills and taking care of myself beyond just becoming a better parent. I really am so grateful for my current therapist and the amount of work that I've been able to do with them in the last year, which is about as long as I've been working with them. They are so compassionate, and I feel like the amount of progress that I've been able to make in my compassion for myself has just like grown exponentially from working with them. And I'm so, so grateful. Of all of the sort of self-care practices that I am doing these days, one of the most important ones is finding ways to get some of my anger out. So I'm gonna keep working on that. I just wanted to share some of these thoughts, and I've got about 30 more minutes until my daughter's class is over. I think I'm gonna do a little more yelling. So that's what I'm gonna go do right now.